This is Prince William here. Jeez. Next to Harry, there is something that they can't agree on. The star. Oh, the star has fallen. All right, so we've got the star, we've got the lovers, and these are the two cards that I asked about that could give us some kind of insight on what we might learn today in this episode. We need to know.
Well, this imagery is a little telling, but it's...
So I kind of asked what she should be concerned about. So High Priestess, maybe she even has reddish hair. This is the type of month you would have when you say, wow, it was just one thing after another. And so because you see this stellium here, if you could give us some more info. The Princess Catherine. March is 6 of Wands, reversed.
The Emperor in reverse tells me it's a control problem. It's a battle of control. The Three of Swords, which is a heartbreak, a breakup, a complete disconnect. Page of Cups in reverse, no apology.
This is the show where we analyze astrological charts and combine predictions with tarot cards to find clues. And on this show, you can learn how to make your own predictions using your own solar return chart. And I think that's why we've gotten such a surge in subscribers, because it's just unbelievable what you can see from month to month. And valedictorians, I have a special recorded video for you dropping tomorrow in which I will analyze a chart for you I think you're going to be really interested in. And Meghan Markle's launch date for American Riviera Orchard. It's going to be something. And I am going to let you know through my analysis if I think it'll be a big success and how she can go about avoiding the sabotage, which is possible there. It's quite a dynamic chart. So thanks for liking and subscribing. And don't forget, you can get more info on some of the charts that I do on Instagram, which is @ForensicAstrologer. I'm also promoting a new reading, which is the past, present, and future reading. So definitely check that out. And I'll have Amber's information for her tarot readings in the description box. Hey, Amber.
Hi there.
Good to see you. It's been a whole day since we've talked to you.
No, but we're ready. It's a lot of energy and we're charging into it. I'm excited.
Well, we are really getting into the details of people's lives by looking at a solar return chart. And what is astounding to me is that just yesterday, or was it maybe the day before, whenever I did the presidential analysis and I was looking at Jill Biden's chart, and I had seen something that looked really concerning, and it looked like harm and bloodshed. And just today, there was a big article on Trump basically saying there will be bloodshed if he if he's not elected. So really could see what is coming in with these charts. And so I think that begs for a part 2. So we'll definitely have to do that. So it is tea time and Jen is here. Nice to see you, Jen. Natalie, and we've got Toronto and Jennifer. Always good to have Jennifer. You know, I was looking at Prince William's chart last night and I was talking about how it's pretty easy to see King Charles here because it's Saturn, and Saturn is the father or father figure, and it is right here. And there is an opposition with the eclipse. It's that snapshot. And it's, you know, it's just, it is intensified, I guess. And so you have this opposition here with the 3rd house. And what I didn't say the other night was that this is Prince William's brother. This is Harry. So there could potentially be some conflict there with Prince, or I keep saying Prince Charles, and it's King Charles. Old habits die hard. But it really looks like there's some intense solar eclipse energy that has to do with his brother and his father.
Mhm.
And, maybe that's probably the last thing he wants to worry about right now because he's got
Yeah.
other issues.
Lots of things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then I
Mm.
want to get on to something that you're going to be really interested in about. And this is Princess Diana's progressed chart. And it gives us information of today, believe it or not.
Mm.
But what I wanted to do is maybe just draw a card or two or however many you want.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about maybe the month ahead for King Charles and Queen Camilla. And so
Yeah.
we're talking about the end of March and April. What do
Okay.
you think is in store for them? And then I'll go to the chart and see what I can see too.
Yeah, I definitely wanted to get into the energy. I know we're talking Charles and we're talking Camilla, but specifically, I did get my card for King Charles, the King of Cups, and with the Wounded Warrior as its
Oh,
clarifying card. So it talks about illness or, being unwell.
God.
And then I have Kate's card, which is interesting, this Capricorn Queen of Pentacles card
Oh,
with the Seven of Wands, which is about the king of the hill, the sort of posturing for position and power. But it
yes.
also means resistance. And the very first card I drew from my oracle to get an overall read was the resistance card. And I instantly
Oh,
wands, and then that Seven of Wands came out. So I just thought resistance feels like a theme. But we can look at these two for King Charles and sort of see the next 30 days. We're looking to sort of gather some cards for that. Let's see what the next month for Charles. Wow. Oh, his family. He's going to be spending a lot of time with family. I would say that there's going to be sadness or loss, and I definitely feel like it's surrounding his family. This Eight of Swords, and it's a mental burden for him. His family is a mental burden. That just pours off my tongue like that's not a terrible thing to say, but this is very juxtaposition. This is just everything jiving. Everything is beautiful and, overflowing with love and abundance and joy. And this is very stressful. This is a lot of mental taxing on his mind. And that's sort of that. It's interesting. I feel very warm right now. I feel overheated. I don't know if that's a symbol. My body usually does some things that tingles or sweats or whatever it might be, but I'm feeling extremely overheated.
It's that color red.
Yeah, maybe that's
Here we go. It's November 14th started this first house. So we count November, December, January 14th to February 14th, and so on. And now we're in the fifth house for him for his solar year. Now, the fifth house is going to affect family, especially lots of family themes. The cusp of the fifth house is in Capricorn. Now, Capricorn, the ruler is Saturn. So Saturn is in the sixth house of work and also service. So the family and the family service, in a sense, the family serves. And so Saturn is going to rule between March 14th and April 14th because his birthday starts on the 14th. So it just started a few days ago. And there are a couple of good things, I think, from this chart. One is that Pluto, which is really the monarchy. Now, the monarchy is right in his face. I mean, when you're activating that fifth house and you've got a big planet like that, you are staring it right in the face, for lack of a better term. And the Pluto, eighth house matters. This is the monarchy. And so when you have a square to the nodes for anything, for any planet, what it represents is that it's stuck. The monarchy is stuck. It's in a holding pattern. And that's really the theme for this month. Like, okay, what do we do? Are we going too fast? Are we delaying too much? Are we are we going at the right pace here? Do we count on King Charles? Do we count on someone else? Who do we count on? All of that stuff. So the Pluto is showing that this is a stuck transformation just basically for this month. But the good news is that there is a sextile to Neptune that can show, it goes right to the 7th house of mate and partnerships. So this could be a dream partnership that he's talking about, that he's always wanted. And so he's excited about that. This could also be a doctor that's helping him. Pluto or Neptune is health and therapy and doctors. So somebody's talking to him, could be even somebody that Camilla knows because it's in the 7th house. And it's really helping him. Whatever he's doing, it's helping him. Now, it's also chemicals too. So it can mean chemo. And with the trine to Virgo, this is all about healthcare. He's open to it, which is that trine. He is going forward with it. And the other thing that Neptune can represent is a photo. And we talked about that yesterday, which is some type of family photo that he really wants to do. Maybe he's just focused, his team is focused on that right now, really trying to reflect that there is harmony in the kingdom. And where is the harmony? It's very difficult because of this chart this year's. There are so many dynamics between so many different relationships. And let's just also mention Saturn here that rules this month. Look at how there's an opposition with part of Fortune and Black Moon Lilith. There's somebody's stopping them. It's a hidden enemy of some sort. Could be a foreign hidden enemy. Somebody who does not support this family. And I don't know who it is, but it could be from a small country because Mercury or Virgo is small. It could also be reporters, somebody who, and they're going to have to be careful of this. There's somebody who wants to get information. They want the scoop. I would say this is a reporter here, and it's somebody maybe that is pretty well known because part of Fortune next to this person, Black Moon Lilith, is like a famous person or somebody who's very successful. And they want to give the family, Saturn, the family representative of the 5th house for this year for him. There's an opposition there. It's like, no, you're not going to, 6th house is service, 6th house is work. No, we don't want you to work. We don't want you to do it's just a constant, maybe criticism because of Virgo. So maybe my next question, knowing that there's some kind of hidden enemy here, and this is going to be for this next month. Mm-hmm. They're going against the family. Now, this is not only going to be for this month, but also the 6th house, which would be the next month, because the ruler of the 5th house is in the 6th house. So you're going to be looking at both months. Oh. Who is this hidden enemy? That's what I want to know. Who's going up against them?
Okay.
I was thinking this, but that was my first thought. Be very critical, but it could be an investigator.
He's the best of the worst for them. He's the number one of the worst.
Yeah, he will definitely
he's an open enemy. I think he's an open enemy. Yeah.
Absolutely open enemy. But he could also be Black Moon Lilith too, kind of the fly and the appointment sometimes for both sides, really.
Yeah. So let's see who this is. A hidden enemy. Wow. This is, let me just turn this over. Well, it could be a woman. I'll say that. It could be a woman. Oh, well, a powerful woman in the media. I would actually say it could be a female or someone very feminine. Queen of Cups, Emperor together with this 3 of Wands and the 9 of Wands. All of these wands in reverse. I definitely feel it's a media sort of situation. there is something on hold. It's almost like I get the sense of someone waiting behind the curtain to sort of pop out, like they're being held back or restrained. That's resistance is sort of this restrained feeling. This hidden enemy is just behind the scenes. But I feel like it could be a feminine person or a female CEO, someone who owns a large conglomeration of media or something. And they're just waiting for the perfect opportunity. It's like they're being held just behind the line, just barely behind the line. This is Aries, Scorpio energy. Aries, Scorpio. So Mars, Pluto in both of these court cards. I should share them. I'm sorry.
With Saturn ruling the royal family this year, there is an opposition. It's like you can't easily get to them. There's delay after delay after delay, and that's in the 6th house of service. So it could be that they are really shutting down. So that's one thing. Yet at the same time, somebody's trying to get to them. And sometimes you want to see an opposition like that. Everybody, when they look at their solar return chart, they're like, oh my God, look at all those red lines. But sometimes it protects you. You don't necessarily want somebody to have access to you when you are dealing with things that you'd rather keep private.
You said something about charitable giving and being sort of not able to do that. The 6 of Cups, while you were talking about that before we asked our question, the 6 of Cups in reverse, this is a charitable card. This is about, philanthropy and, giving. And in the reverse, it made me think of exactly what you said, which was that is being, tampered down, and the 3 of Pentacles next to it, which is no longer continuing to work with others and pulling away from that. So it's sort of the same thing with the service.
And I feel like another layer to it is that as they are putting a hold on the good charities, because the 12th house is nonprofits, and we talked about that before, but it's almost like there's one nonprofit in there, possibly, that isn't good. And so they are successful in delaying, but also holding back this maybe entity that they didn't want to deal with anyway. So that's a possibility. The 12th house can also mean, well, I guess I should say it, bed pleasures and also fears. There's something that's kind of like they're pushing back on something there that could be scandalous. Now we have that Pluto there. That's a lot of photos, but photos that he wants released. It's also video. This is a sextile to Neptune. Neptune is in the 7th house. So we might see a lot of photos of Camilla this month. Lots of photos, and he loves it. And they might even release a photo with both of them, which is probably a good idea because, there might not be an opportunity to have a nice photo down the road. Now, another thing I wanted to mention about this month, which is between March 14th and April 14th. And that is, we got this group of mangy characters down here. Oh boy, they are there's a whole bunch of them. And they're just giving shocks because of that opposition with Uranus. Now, you can see that there is a trine to Neptune. I wonder if the 3rd house is siblings and cousins, which they certainly have a lot of. And I wonder if there's a group of them that the ones that are nice to Camilla are going to get the answers that they want this month. There is a channel there for them. And why do I say Camilla? Because Neptune rules the 7th house. Camilla is also Venus. So she's 2 planets. She's 3 planets because of Jupiter too. Jupiter also rules Neptune, but there's that channel there. And it's it's almost like you don't see Camilla necessarily like this, but she's playing the therapist to a lot of people, and she's really helping. And I think that King Charles is seeing that, and he's very grateful for that. Notice that the first week or so is in Capricorn and then moves into Aquarius. This is going to be this is going to be April basically. And Aquarius is changes. So there's going to be a lot of changes this month within the royal family. And people are going to be irritated because they're going to be like, well, what do you mean? Is that my temporary title or is that my full term, long term title? Why does that person get this and I don't? That kind of petty stuff I can imagine is probably going to start happening during the Aquarius phase. And what rules Aquarius? Uranus, which is going to activate again this opposition with siblings. And let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Trying to think. Camilla might want to be going abroad again. Like, you're not going anywhere. You have a job. Where does she think she's going again? Spain. They're like, no, you're not going to Spain again, lady. So this is a possibility. Why do I get
Darlene's question is interesting.
Okay, hold on.
Do you think she will bring in her children? I'm assuming she means Camilla.
So yes, very good.
Is
okay. Let's see. All right, so Uranus.
Her children.
Third house. Okay. So third house from Camilla is the 9th house. That's what Camilla is thinking about. So all of the third house, and Uranus is change. And it is very, very unfavorable, it would seem, to something that has to do with Charles's siblings. I'm going to go ahead and say siblings, not just cousins, but siblings.
Yeah.
Neighbors as well. But there's some type of thought. It could even be her neighbor or something has some kind of an accident or something like that. Hopefully not. But so with regard to her family, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Moon would be in there. Okay. Her family is the moon. It's 5 houses from the 7th, and it's the ruler. And it doesn't look like they're successful this year, her family. So they're just going to have to back off, basically. Interesting how it is coupled with Black Moon Lilith. So, translate that how you want it, but it doesn't seem as if they are going to be one happy family yet. Although I understand that they have a good relationship from what you see on the outside with kids. So I don't see any big problems, but it does show it's possible they want to do something that has to do with the media because of the moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the media and publications, but they're told this year, because of this square to part of fortune, which means success, it's like, it's a good idea, but maybe not this year. So, So, is that your dog?
I think it is.
I was going to say, I got some agreement there.
I know.
So funny. Now, I guess let's pull a card on what this upset is. And when is this going to come in? It's going to come in right in April. Right as we get to April, something happens where it looks like another upset.
Okay.
And what's really interesting, November, December, January. This might have been, I can't remember the date. Was it February 19th when the related, or the person, was it the relative, Kingston, was found with a
Mhm.
gunshot. And so I feel like that might have been part of that. I think that might be more on the minds of the royals
Mm, yeah.
than we think. And let me look that up for a second. And isn't it interesting how there was an upset with that family? And it was Kingston. So a shock to the king, a shock to the kingdom. So I feel like it was kind of some kind of omen. Lady Gabriella Windsor's husband, Thomas Kingston, died from catastrophic head wound.
That's
Kingston here. I know. What a lovely couple. She must absolutely be,
devastated.
yeah, devastated. Now, I always look at something like this with suspicion because we
Sure.
don't know. He was a financier. I don't know. It seems like it was quite a shock. I wonder if it might be something we should look at from a true crime perspective.
Mhm.
They've got a lid on that pretty much. So not sure exactly what to think there, but anyway, I think that's coming in again. That's the Uranus opposite Mars. That's a gunshot. And in Pluto, this is true crime. This is a murder.
Right.
So I think this is a shocking murder. But
Mhm.
this would have, if it's here in his chart, it would be between January 14th and February 14th. And I think it was after that.
Absolutely.
It was a great shock. So that's
Wow.
Uranus.
Wow.
And okay, senior coroner for Gloucester, Katie Scurrett, said Kingston had lunch with his parents before his father took their dogs on a walk. On his return, Mr. Kingston was not in the house. Kingston's mother began to search for him after 30 minutes, and his father forced entry on a locked outbuilding when no reply could be gained. His father found Mr. Kingston deceased with a catastrophic head injury. A gun was present at the scene. Emergency services were called, and the police are satisfied that the death is not suspicious.
Mm. Mm.
And now a statement released from his wife said, he's an exceptional man. His death came as a great shock. What? Wow. Right. Well, of course, we don't have a date here.
Mm-mm.
But anyway, let's assume that it's not that. But I'm wondering what that was.
Well, I did poll as we were asking that question, and the very first card that came out was the death card again.
Okay.
Death card. But it came along with the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Five of Wands, and the Seven of Cups in reverse. And then the last card, the Knight of Swords from a different deck. So to me, this is shocking information that comes forward quickly, out like very, very fast. This is Gemini energy, Mercury, very quick energy. Knights are very fast messengers. The Seven of Cups in reverse, with this, it's sort of like there's lots of smoke and mirrors and confusion and look over here, but not over here. And the information is coming so fast. It's like drinking from a fire hose. You can't take it all in, but it's something transformative, hugely transformative. That in this is sort of strategy and cannot be avoided. It's coming. It's coming. The information is coming. It's information, I think, is what the shock is. What it's about, it could be about this conflict. The last card under the deck, oh, wow, this is another deck too. That Tower in reverse again, but this time with this is my Diana card, the High Priestess. So it's ancestral. It's deep-rooted familial secrets. She's a very secretive, secret of the keeper of the secrets within the family. And then we've got the Empress, which is interesting. Something may more be coming out about Kate or about the king specifically in his position. That will be
amazing. I'm
asked
a
about.
little bit freaked out about this. I didn't really think about. Is that
Yeah.
true that this guy was in charge of King Charles's financials? Like, I don't know if
Oh,
that's true or not, but that's a little crazy. And Barbara, point taken. Of course, they say it was not suspicious.
Well, and
Crazy.
the fact that they're able to write it with this catastrophic head injury and then separately say there was a gun on the scene versus the information that seems obvious to say, it's very Seven of Cupsy. Like, what did
Okay,
they
it's
say?
7:30. I'm drawing a horary. I know this is a little impromptu,
Yeah.
but it's 7:37. Is this a crime that we're talking about that has to do with how specific should we go on this? Well, we're talking about this as a potential crime. That's all we really need. So we're going to draw a chart, and let me just pull it up real quick. 7:37.
And there's a specific horary chart calculation, or you use, how do you run?
I just use,
do?
yeah. All it is you just ask a general question, and
Mhm.
it's just an ancient technique. It's kind of like drawing a card, but it's doing that for astrology. So a lot of people use that,
Yeah.
and it just kind of, it's supposed to answer your question. If you
Yeah.
have, sometimes it can be so complicated. In the old days, in the ancient days, if you had 0 degrees on the ascendant, it would not be radical, meaning you couldn't use it. You had to throw it out.
Mm.
But I like to look at it anyway. And let's see, I wonder why it wouldn't give us a radical chart. That's weird. All right, so we have a victim, and it's just coming out of Virgo. So Virgo is where he was. That's what happened. Maybe I should draw the chart for the time or for the date. But
Wow.
anyway, we have this here. Now it's going into a new time frame. But I'm going to look at Mercury because that's really what we just came from, the recent past. And it's in the 7th house. So he was in somebody else's domain. Okay.
Mhm.
And it's squaring the moon. Oh, wow. That's his job.
Mhm.
So there was something that had to do with his profession. I tend to look at the 7th and the 8th house lords for the murderer. And here it's the same one, really. And that's Mars. And Mars is squaring Jupiter. Whoa. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's in the house of family. This is I believe, it's
Mm.
my opinion, and of course this channel is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah.
I think there's something nefarious about this, and I think we can dig down a little bit deeper at another time, because we're right now looking at the predictions for King Charles and Queen Camilla. But what is your thought about it?
I do think that it was self-inflicted. I have the Hanged Man in reverse. This is unwillingness to see or be enlightened, or I mean, this imagery on this one in the with the question that we asked was a little jarring when I pulled this card. I would say that it was a singular event connected to him and his choices or his life. I don't see another person involved. And if they are, they're external or indirect in the choice made.
Maybe it's just a reflection of that he was having a hard time maybe there was something that had to do with his job that was upsetting to him. But it'll be interesting to see if that comes in again. But this is Saturn. They definitely don't want to talk about something. And this is going to be activated between March 14th and May 14th, because we've got Saturn not ruling, but affecting both of these houses. So there's going to be some kind of a death here. But meaning thinking about Saturnian things, not necessarily a death. Okay, so we're going to be talking a lot about Uranus here. And this is going to be what Camilla wants to talk about. But there's another upset. This could be Prince Andrew right here. There's some type of power struggle that's happening, or some kind of a change that maybe Prince Andrew does not want. And that could be, could be moving. It's firmly in the area of Camilla's control, or at least what she's thinking about.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's the Charles card, King of Cups, Scorpio, which many, many times in this reading that has come out. So it's a change with Charles. What is it? Look at
interesting. A change of code. Well, I mean, she's already going through that in a sense. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Page of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. This came out earlier. I didn't mention it because it sort of flew sideways and I didn't know which way it came out, but it came out again. It's very much about loss and sadness. Page of Pentacles is starting new. Seven of Pentacles in reverse. If I were reading, and Queen of Cups, there's Camilla, sign of Cancer. If I were reading this not about the royal family, I would read this as retirement. It's sad, but it's a new beginning. It's sort of losing that day-to-day routine. Something is sort of over. Something is over for him and for her, because she came out at the end of this reading. Okay. So in a supportive position, but it's like retirement.
It seems a little more shocking than that to me, only because I'm looking at this opposition. We've got Uranus and Mars and Sun in Scorpio. This is really intense. Uranus is ruling the 9th house. So this could be something shocking in the press that's coming out. And I think it could have something to do with an investigative reporter. Scorpio is investigative. 3rd house is reporter, 9th house reporter. And this is going potentially, whatever this Uranus opposition is, it's going to take up their mind in April, which is a shame because we've got the holidays coming up. We've got, times when you want to enjoy your family and you don't want to deal with all of this upset. So I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's going to be an Aquarius month. That could also mean, flying, science, the internet, something shocking on the internet, something that has to do with thinking ahead too. The visionary is Aquarius. So it'll be interesting to see what that April sentiment is, or that April theme. Any other thoughts? You're looking at
I did get the Page of Swords, which is sort of a spy, just little nosy information seeker, someone who likes to dig up information, but maybe in a secretive way or a sort of sideways way, about the family, about Kate. So when I say retirement, I'm trying to not say anything too shocking, but if that were the case and he were to retire, I feel like that would be fairly shocking if he were to step down, or, his illness or his health was a trigger point for him to retreat back and have William step further forward. I think that would be pretty major. That's what this looks like. He's uninvolved. It looks uninvolved.
Yes,
know.
absolutely. Okay, so we've got other charts that we can look at, and that is and just reminding you that that third house, when he was hitting, it was November, December, it was January 14th, and that began Scorpio there. And then boom, on January 14th, Denmark's Queen Margaret, the longest serving monarch, announced that she would be abdicating, or her office announced it. And so that was going to give kind of an omen of shocking things that were happening, sort of along the same type of theme of the Queen Elizabeth, the ending of a reign. So there's sort of like, you know, the whole year is the endings in a sense, or, you know, maybe the 2 years. Now we've got Queen Camilla. We have her. She, her birthday is on June 17th. So we come around here. This is her birth date time, the 17th, and this is for March 17th to April 17th. So the 9th house is activating for her. So that's familiar because 9th house is the press again. The good thing about these first few days for her, and it's March 17th today, so it's kind of like her birthday in a sense when you move to another house. And it seems as if there's some kind of very good news happening for her in these first few days. And that would be because the moon is in its home and really strong, which shows the public, it shows her being a mom, her being nurturing, getting good press. You know, the moon is good, the 9th house is press. And then in this big blue triangle, which would be a grand trine, then with Saturn here in the 4th. So she might be given congratulations. She might be, there's something coming to light about her that is very positive. But I did say something about no here, and that is coming in the next few weeks throughout, you know, I'm going to say this is more April. We have the sun, and it is squaring Saturn. So there's something that is stopping her in this respect. And yet there's a trine to Neptune. So I think her biggest focus, where she's actually very successful, is this family photo. So I think, you know, she's all in, she's helping, that kind of thing. But there's also a square here with Saturn. And Saturn represents the 3rd house, which is cousins, brothers, neighbors. So again, a neighbor, maybe something is happening there. I'm not sure what. There's a couple of squares she's getting into in around the April time frame. So it's funny because the month that she decided to go on vacation, that was ruled by Mercury, which is up here in Leo. And usually when people go on a sunny vacation like Spain, the planet's usually in Leo. So it's funny. And she had a whole bunch of squares around her. So it wasn't something that she got a lot of support about, it seems, internally, probably from her husband, who maybe even suggested it because they're a good couple. But it does seem like she got some problems. It was problematic. But now it's going to come in again. So that same planet is going to be activated again now for March and April. So we're talking about Spain, more information about Spain, more information about a new holiday, because Leo is the holiday. What are people talking about with regard to her holiday, and why do they care? So it just seems very silly here. Let's see. So it seems as if she's telling people no this month. And also the sun, which is her ego and your ego when you're looking at your solar return chart, and it's in this, it's really like a grand cross, but basically 2 T-squares. And it generally, because it's with the nodes, it's kind of like she's stuck. So there's going to be feeling, as far as her body and wanting to go certain places, it seems as if she's given restrictions this month, that she can't really do what she wants to do. Okay. And then the next month, we're going to have to do another show for this one. But this one looks particularly challenging because you've got Black Moon Lilith. You've got a bunch of people up here who are, they're saboteurs. They're causing trouble. And that's coming in April 17th to May 17th. And that's really, it could actually start this month because you have Moon octiling Mars. So there's some kind of fight going on. Maybe in her career out in the open, something with a royal, because this is Regulus right here. Venus is in Regulus. This could be we mentioned it last time we talked about who this person could be, but that's kind of just the one downside in these next week or two, is that she's got to deal with this person that she doesn't really care for. And that person, it's ruled by the 6th house. This could be it could be a servant, as somebody who works for her. She's like, what am I paying you here for? What are you doing? So it could be something like that. And then, yeah, I would say that this is probably, it's a good month because of that nice grand trine. And she has a couple of good months coming up. But she's kind of, it's sort of like the Olympics here. I mean, she's in the running, she's winning, but she still has a ways to go. And it's with regard to her career, I think. And Pluto, just to remind us all, is her ruling planet this year. And it looks like it's very difficult. This is probably one of her more difficult years because of this T-square. When you have this in your chart, and if the apex is your ruling planet, this is really, really hard. Super, super hard. The only thing that's helping her is this Neptune here. This could be her family, her immediate family, I would say, that's, kind of helping her with her mindset. But
Yeah.
it really looks difficult. And I wanted to talk to you about, did you want to draw a card before I get into Diana?
I'm ready to, no, let's boogie.
Okay. Well, let's just look at Diana for a second.
Yeah.
And this is Diana's progressed chart. She is currently a Pisces rising. So isn't that interesting how Saturn is right here, going through it. So a lot of people remembering her. And that's Saturn, transit Saturn.
Yeah.
So her ruling planet is Neptune, and it's also Jupiter. So she's got 2 ruling planets. And look who is having a hard time because of her. That's Venus. This is Camilla. So you can see that this is basically Diana's spirit. And it's like there's something that's delaying Camilla there. And so how do I get that? It would be, Camilla is 3, 4, 5. Okay. She's the second wife of Diana's husband. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then I think that, wait a minute. I think she is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so she's not Venus. She's not Venus. She's actually because you want the 9th from the 7th. So I just have a counting problem. That's my problem. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So she's going to be Mercury up here. That's really interesting. So there's no problem with Camilla then. Camilla's okay. We're going to put her, I'm going to put her up here. But I did want to show you that Mercury is Harry because he rules the 7th house. That's the second child. And the 5th house is ruled by the first child. That's the moon. And so let me show you. Hold on. Okay, so this is March 2024. And this is Will's. Okay, so he's the moon. And Mercury is Harry. Now, this is Diana. And Saturn and Jupiter together, that's Diana's legacy. Okay. And what does Harry have? Harry has access to it. And she's allowing him to use it, and he's using it for his future. So her spirit is helping him. And so you can see how, this is Will over here, and he's not really that part of it. But this is next year, okay? This is March of 2025. This is Will, and this is Harry. Now, my prediction, even though it doesn't have to do with King Charles or Queen Camilla, is that Harry is about to make a huge success. Look at that amazing Grand Trine. I mean, this is like Harry and his projects are on steroids, okay?
Yeah.
But you've got Will down here, and there he is.
Yeah.
And look at how he squares
Yeah.
Harry. He does not want him to do that. Now that goes on for another year. It's between, I would say it really kicks in 2025 and then it goes away in 2026. But it's an incredible amount of fighting. But, it's kind of like she's looking down in a very motherly way. Like, yes, I'm going to help you. I just saw that. Interesting. Yeah, very supportive energy.
Yeah.
So yeah, as far as the prediction for King Charles and Queen Camilla, we've got another hurdle for them this month. And what is that shocking thing? It has to do, I think, with maybe another scandal that's brewing. Can we get maybe one more card and just talk about a potential scandal that's happening that could be different than what we were talking about last month?
Sure. Yeah, let's see. I'm going to use an oracle card first, and then we'll clarify if we need to. Wow, this is quite a card. I've never seen this card before. I hope the imagery comes. The masculine.
Oh, behave. Wait a minute. What's he look like?
Scandalous.
Oh
gosh.
Does he look like Kingston?
He actually has a little bit of reddish hair. I'm hoping that you can sort of see do you see
Harry.
the sort of auburn hair?
Oh my God. Harry's going to take his shirt off and the kingdom will be pissed. Oh my God.
I mean, it could be, oh, there's two figures in the back. His children, there's two children in the shadows in the back of this card. Very, very back of the card. Do you see these children? He almost kind of reminds me of Poseidon a little bit. This image reminds me, it's not a water card, but with the moon here, the body.
Whoa,
It's very
that's
interesting.
amazing. Okay, so wait a minute. What's this guy's name? I know I'm just harping
Wonder
on this
why.
Kingston guy, but the fact that his last name is Kingston, I mean, it's just a little too much of a coincidence here. Thomas
Yeah.
Kingston, and he had a mansion. Okay, and did Thomas Kingston have children? I don't know,
Did this did you from the chart was because this is the card is 42 and it just jumped at me April 2nd, which is coming shortly. Could April 2nd be a date that this shocking thing
yeah,
occurs?
absolutely.
Wow.
And Lady Gabriella and
Hmm.
Thomas Kingston did not have children, so that maybe that's Harry again. That, yeah, good call on with the two kids and spotting
April
them.
2nd. It's
Thanks,
but
Sue.
they're just barely visible in the card, which I think is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. So, but gosh, I can't imagine with that. I got to look at this a little bit longer here. Let's see. So, if we're going to look, and I guess we could look at King Charles. Let's look at William. This is the solar eclipse. And let me hold on one sec. Okay. And so this is his brother. And that's Mars. So Mars is going to be here.
Would he be in Pisces right before this, Harry, in this chart?
Yes. Yes. He's just coming into a new
Poseidon. That's what I said. This reminds me of Poseidon.
interesting. And it's conjunct sheet. And oh, look at this. Neptune is just about hitting that third cusp, which means like a brother, some type of I don't think Harry is going to intentionally get himself into a scandal. I think it will probably be made up because of what they do. But so much is going through that Mars. And when you have that Mars energy, people can make you angry. They do these things, and it's like, how could you even think that I would be okay with that? And that's that energy that you have to deal with.
Yeah.
Mars comes in and says, hey, this is my energy. So, I just want to introduce you. And that happens here. So definitely there is something that is being spoken about. So I guess we'll just say that maybe the shocking part has to do with Harry and maybe what's on Camilla's mind. So somehow it can connect, I guess. So Darlene, I don't know. I don't think he's leaving anybody.
No.
Yes. Oh, and I also wanted to mention one other thing. Something about England. And let's see. England, I pulled the birth chart. And it's, you know what Sadi Sadi is? It is basically Saturn is coming up on the moon of England. Now, 1 year to go, and then it's going to be activated, which is 30 degrees before the moon. And that means a great, great sadness, sati, sadness and despair. And so, it's very depressing. It could go, the country could go into depression. Now, the US is a little bit ahead. We are in sati right now. So you can see what we're going through. It's just an upheaval and not having the means. Everyone just doesn't have what they want. Economic depression. There's a whole list of things that happen. So if you wanted to move out of England for a little while, this next year would be a good time. But at the same time, the good news is that once you're done all of this, and it's not going to be for a little while, probably another 7 or 8 years, that's when the country basically sheds its skin and becomes new again. But it's just a lot of hard work and little effort. But it also represents loss. And so we're kind of seeing that right now, just sort of like shedding old things. Anything that's considered old is about to be in the past. And yeah, so I mean, it's not really an uplifting thing, but it's going to start next March. And so I think that it explains some of the things that are going on right now. So, you know, we go through sati 3 times in our lives. Usually around 40 is the second sati. And so it can be pretty tough. But for me, I finished my sati in 2018 or 19, and
Same.
I changed my whole, like,
Yeah.
everything I knew was different, and things are much better now. So
Yeah.
yes, Darlene, I need a year break with all of this. Wanda, yes, I know there's some crazy theories. Okay, can we leave with one card, or of whatever you want to pull? But could we talk about the crazy theories that are happening right now and the reason behind it? What's that? Well, I know which one. What can we talk about the reason behind these things? Like who's behind these crazy rumors?
Let's see. All of it.
I hear you, Imelda.
The internet is not a card. Well, it would be actually. There is a card for the internet, but let's see. I'm having a feeling of what might come out, but let's see what happens.
Serendipity, you think divorce is already happening behind the scenes. We got a couple of heartbreaks, as you saw in the
It's just sometimes the cards have a little bit more impact when I pull them. This one just jumped out. I didn't even pull this card, but to the question in particular, the High Priestess again, which is, it's like an ancestral, the ancestors are behind it, or it's karmic, or there's like secret society or familial ghosts and ancestors from before. It's some other, it's I can't think of the word. It's like supernatural. It's a little bit supernatural.
Could it be the other woman?
Not the High Priestess.
Okay. Who's the other woman then, generally in a card, in a tarot card?
Generally it's going to be the Queen of Wands is viewed as the other woman.
Good to know that one. Everybody's going to be pulling cards tonight. Hopefully.
Sun. The King of Wands in reverse just came out. So when he's in reverse, he's a cheater. There's a cheater.
Okay.
And the Sun is illuminating this secretive information that the High Priestess typically holds. So could be.
So that's basically it, is that there could actually be some truth behind some of these rumors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, Natalie, I think you're right. Diana and Elizabeth, raining from above. Well, thank you so much for your time. And we're going to put all your information in the description box for tarot readings. And we'll hopefully see you again in the next week, maybe, if we're lucky.
Yes.
And thanks everybody for joining us. We will talk to you again soon, and keep an eye out, members, for the next video. I'll have that on Meghan Markle tomorrow. Talk to you guys soon.